manage to cultivate by that age. So he doesn't actually go out there looking. I'm talking about the average man. I'm not talking about the ones who are hitting the clubs and they have full confidence and can get girls and sleep with girls and move on to the next. I'm talking about the average guy. They normally place themselves into their work or whatever routine they have and never actually step out, whereas the women are stepping out. But it's strange because the women are stepping out for that final sprint and all they can see is either the young people doing their thing or the men who I just described, which are the ones that, can go out, get whatever girls, the chads, they call them on the internet. So we need to be aware of that. This is happening. Like, people are at home doing what this woman is doing. They may not be on YouTube, they may not be on camera, but they're depressed because they've realized, they've woken up in their 30s and gone, oh crap, I should have stayed with this guy, or I should have stayed with that girl, or I should have did it. Like, they wake up and this is the realization. You know what I mean? It's sad. And me personally, I believe that people should do something about this. Change the way you approach things and become intentional in what you're doing. Start noticing the people who would give you a chance. You know what I mean? There are people around you, there are men around you who they would want you. I was watching a video before, I may not have posted it yet, but back in the day, women used to drop their handkerchief to signal to men that they should come for them, right? And I was, in a previous video that I did of the young lady in uni who wrote her number down for a guy that she likes, right? She approached the guy herself. The story didn't end well, but that kind of thing needs to start happening again, because women have completely just left their responsibility when it comes to the mating system. Like, they've completely just thrown away their part. They're just like, men have to approach us. Men have to approach us. Men are not approaching. Then they get on the internet and go, why are men not approaching? Where are the good guys? Da, 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 da. But there's something to be said, especially in a time where consent is so important, in a time where men are no longer out there approaching women because consent is a big deal, right? Women need to cultivate that drop the handkerchief thing. You really have to. I think so. And give men a chance that, would look your way. You know what I mean? It's like every woman wants the 6 foot and the 6 figures and the 6 whatever. Every woman, no matter how they look, no matter whether they're average looking, whether they're medium, everybody wants the same type of man. But really and truly, you're supposed to be bonding with the average man. If you're an average woman, bond with an average man, and so on and so forth. Because not all the good-looking women are going to get married anyway, because they too are going after the same type of men, and only the best will win. But that's my solution. I think women need to go back to pick up their responsibility in the mating or the dating game, which is to give men signals and give men, average men, a chance. Or else average men remain single, which means you remain single. It is what it is. Guys, what do you think of my video? What do you think of the video I reacted to? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you believe depression in women is at an all-time high? I think statistically, it's been reported that women are the most depressed or the most unhappy now, today, in this day and age. And men themselves are. I don't think they didn't report men to be depressed. They just reported that men are not taking chances. They can't be bothered. Basically, they're not going after women because of X, Y, and Z. So it's not a good time to be in the dating game, basically. Guys, remember I have another channel, a reaction channel. I do trailer reactions, gaming reviews, movie reviews over there. Go over there, give me a subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments below. I'll see you on the next video. These talk shows, or whatever they call them, podcasts, are getting wild.
Are you friend zoning him?
Yeah, we're just gonna go out as friends from
Okay,
now
so you're
on.
turning him down because he paid?
Because he paid, or he...
Or sorry, excuse me, because he split the bill.
Yeah.
But, okay, so you do have an issue if a guy wants to split the bill.
Yeah.
She's traditional.
Why?
I just think traditionally, like, a man should pay on the first date.
You're not a traditional woman.
I think I'm quite traditional in my own ways.
You do OnlyFans. Look, I have OnlyFans girls on the show. I'm fine with it. However, you're not a traditional woman.
I'm traditional outside of
Are you a virgin?
OnlyFans.
You said your body count, and look, I'm not
Damn.
16, right? A traditional woman is a virgin.
Oh, wow.
Well, I disagree. That's not my definition of traditional.
Hold on.
These talk shows or whatever they call them, podcasts, are getting wild. That's crazy. But it's a good point. I wouldn't have used the virgin thing, but it is a good point that she wants traditional values, but she's not traditional. If you remember the video I did before, you look for the values that you want in your partner and you become that person. What do you guys think? Let's go.
All right, so I'm not married, but my dad's married to my mother. And a couple of years back at his work Christmas party, I ended up showing up after my Christmas party. And this woman came up to me, my age, comes up to me and says, "You know your dad is my work husband."
Oh.
I said, no, he's not. This is his wife, because she said it right in front of both of my parents.
Oh, no.
And she's like, "Oh, it's not real. I'm just playing. Like, he's just my..." I said, "No, I know it's not real. And I know you're just playing."
It's not real.
Stop just playing, because
Stop it.
it's his wife.
Stop it right now. Yes.
Y'all are gonna around and find out. Y'all.
That's what I'm talking about. I was talking about in my previous video about how the couple was being too nice. And look at this one. There's no part 2. You stop it right now. It's not real. It's not happening. End of story. Stop. This is what I'm talking about. She wasn't nice about it. Yes. No. This is it. Boundary set. Don't cross it. End of story. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Guys, I'm trying out a new background. Let me know what you guys think of it. Does it look good? Trying to make it like a little cozy corner for my gaming and of course YouTube, TikTok and Instagram videos. Let me know what you think about it. Lighting. Let me know what you think about the audio as well. Is it all right? If there's anything you think I should add to my background, I really appreciate your comments. Let me know in the comments below. Guys, I'm going to be checking out a video today. Another one sent to me by a friend. I'm going to react to the video and give you my thoughts. Guys, you know what I do here. I do relationship videos, relationship advice, marriage for our young people, just to kind of give them some advice on what to do in this current day. You know, right now there's a lot going on. Marriage is under attack, family is under attack. It seems like it's just better to be on your own these days, but we all know that's not true. So the point of my channel is to kind of just let young people know how to navigate the current time so that they can pair up, get married, have kids, and, you know, do it the way we're supposed to do it. So guys, I'm going to check out today's video. Before I do that, please leave a like, comment, and sub. Let me know what you think of my thoughts on the video. Let me know what you think about my background, my audio. Let's go.
So you're married,
Yes.
and you got the right one.
Okay.
Oh wow, what?
Okay,
I
so
said okay.
how long you been married?
38 years.
Oh, he
Ooh.
got to be the right one if you stayed that long.
No, we live in separate homes. That is the right way to live for
Wait,
38
what?
years.
Wait a minute, wait. How long y'all lived in separate homes?
10.
Whoa.
And it gets
And they're
y'all.
married.
That works for y'all.
Fabulous.
Where y'all live in different states,
No, we live here in Detroit.
in different homes.
Yes.
That's interesting.
So how does it work? I'm fascinated. Come
You go
Yeah.
to your home and I go to mine. We don't have to argue. We don't have to yap. It's a good deal.
And you trust him?
Of course.
He trusts you?
Of course.
How often y'all see each other?
All the time.
But y'all don't sleep in the same
Wow.
place unless you want,
Yeah.
want to
Okay.
do that.
Yeah.
That's
But it's a
interesting.
great deal. When you
My
married
son
that
is
long.
behind that camera. He taking all this
When
in.
when you're married that long, it's wonderful. You don't have to get a divorce. Just get in separate houses.
Okay.
Y'all heard it. When the right one comes, don't have to live under the same roof.
That's right.
Thank you.
This one is very interesting. I've never heard that before. I've always heard, like the olden day, you know, what they normally used to say is that because of how egregious divorce was back in the day, divorce was taken really, really seriously. People used to say just separate. They would say remain married, keep the marriage, but separate and go your separate ways, but you're still married. But I've never heard it like this, where people just live on different houses. I have heard of people sleeping in different beds, not in a I hate you type of way, just more of the type of people they are, maybe their compatibility, maybe, I don't know, whatever it may be, and they choose to have two separate beds, but they're still in the same room and they still fellowship and do whatever they need to do whenever they want to do that. But this one is interesting. I've never heard that before, where they live in two separate houses, and it's not because they hate each other. Is because this is just what works for them. I'm I'm thrown off. That's interesting. I'm wondering. I'm trying to compute how that would work. It also gives even though she did say that she trusts him and he trusts her, it gives so much room for things to go wrong or for things to happen, if that makes sense. And it makes me think that things are happening, even though she said they trust each other, which is interesting. Is it a marriage? I don't think so. But I do think if it works for them, sure. That's my mind. Because I prefer that they do something like this, and in her words, there's no red flags, there's no issues, even though there was a red flag at the beginning where she said, the guy asked her a question, he said, you must love him or you found the right one. And she was like, So obviously, I think this decision was not reached because it was the optimum decision. I think it was reached because something went wrong. And instead of divorcing, which is what she said, they decided to come to this arrangement. So it is obviously putting a strain on their relationship because, again, you heard that little thing at the beginning gives you everything you need to know about this relationship. And it is interesting. What I would say though, young people, if you're watching this, is that based on what was said in this video, very, very, very subtle, this is not the optimum way to manage your marriage. So if you're thinking to yourself, oh, okay, just do whatever works for me, and I think it's better for us to live in separate houses, that is not the optimum way to have a marriage. In a marriage, you're meant to pair up together. Everything becomes one. The Bible says two become one. You're not one when you're separate. You're not one when you live in two different houses. You're not one when you, the whole bed thing in the same house, that one is, I'm not too fussed about that. If it's just I don't want to say aesthetics, but more like, you know that when people like have, there are very, very little things that people have that create differences in them. Like, for example, some people complain about body heat. So when they sleep together, one person doesn't like body heat, the other is really cold, the other is really hot. It's just little things like that that can lead to things where instead of tolerating and it causes issue, you just decide to come up with an agreement. But the point is, as long as you're still in the same house, the same household, same vicinity, and you love each other, sure. But when you're living two separate lives, that's completely different. So this, I don't recommend this at all. It happens because something went wrong, and it happens because back in the day, people were told, don't divorce, just do something else, but don't divorce. And that was the mindset. That's the mindset that I have as well, but I'm not trying to have that mindset and let my marriage go to crap and do that. No, I want to make sure my marriage works, if that makes sense. Because in my mind, I don't want to ever separate from my wife or divorce her or whatever. So I want to do everything that I can to make sure it works. And unfortunately, ladies, this is something that is in the man's control, right? Unless you're a wicked woman, the man really holds the marriage. He's the one that controls most things, especially if you let him lead. His job is to make sure that your marriage is working. If you're a wicked woman and he can't tell you what to do, or you can't reach agreements and whatever, then that's a different thing. It means you're not allowing him to be the head and lead the marriage. But in the case where you're good, you know what it means to be a woman, you're feminine, and you love your guy, and he's the one who's being a douchebag, normally this won't work. So as long as I'm doing what I'm meant to do, my marriage will continue to go. If I see a problem, I fix it. If I see an issue, I attack it head on. If there's a problem that needs to be solved, I go for it and I solve it. If something's wrong with my wife, I make it my business to sort it out. As long as I'm doing those things, the marriage will continue to flow, because my wife is really, I'm the head, I'm her head. So if something's wrong with her, I should be fixing it. Again, I do not recommend this option. Something has gone wrong in this relationship, and the room for the devil to visit is vast. Like it's just, yeah, it works for them. I'm not criticizing her. If it works for them, it works for them. But I did her a little, if you loved each other that much and the person said you found the right one and you didn't go, yeah, he's fantastic, something went wrong. What do you think of this, guys? Do you think that this could work, especially in this day and age where marriage is scrutinized? If something like this was introduced, do you think more people would get married, where they can still live separate lives, but they're married and love each other? Do you think it could work? Or do you think the way I'm thinking, that this is not marriage and it leaves so much room for things to go wrong? People can continue to do their dirt. Nobody's, just stuff like that. It's just, it is what it is. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Guys, remember to leave me a comment regarding my background, my lighting, and my sound. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Please, young Christian, especially the male young Christian, you have a responsibility for your future family to do things right. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Guys, before we check out today's video, please do me a favor, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to that 1,000 subscribers so I can become a YouTube partner. I hope you've been having a good day. Let's check out today's video.
What do you think the biggest thing that guys struggle with is?
Fatherless child.
Fatherless, like not having a dad in their life. Like this, I'm being real.
Right, like
not having a father figure. No father figure. No father figure.
And it's not even like no jokes, bro. My dad's in prison.
Somewhere in Florida, I don't know. My dad's doing drugs. Like, for real. And my dad's in prison. Like, father figures are like, it's something about like, it was one guy that did take care of his kid. He had kids, he didn't take care of his disciples. We live in these like shitty areas with no father figures, bro.
people like they have kids. People expect them to know how to cheat, but they have a bell roll to how to treat a female right.
Alright guys, so I mean they articulated themselves really well, but a part of me wonders whether or not they're regurgitating, because it sounds like everything that we're hearing right now in social media. But I give them props for articulating themselves really well. So here's my thoughts. We had a massive, should I say like a big pandemic or epidemic where fathers were missing in the home. My generation, maybe not my generation, actually yeah, I would say my generation tried their best to fix that, but unfortunately the cycle does continue. But we had this whole epidemic of fathers being missing in the home. So it's only natural that you will start to see, or already, at least in the last decade, see the result of that, if that makes sense. And we have two issues here. We have the issue of fathers either leaving the home because they're douchebags, or mothers kicking them out for whatever reason, or divorce happening because of frivolous reasons, you know, when people are just not, they don't know what marriage is meant to be, so they divorce for stupid reasons. So you've got all these factors. And look guys, I think both sexes are to blame. This is why I really don't agree with the red pill versus the manosphere and the feminism stuff, like feminism versus red pill. I don't agree with that, because I think both sexes are at fault. Even back where I come from, I know women who kick out men just for the sake of it. Like the man is good and yeah, they get tossed to the side. And on the other side, you have this whole dating thing that's going on. So there's a lot of issues here, but the victims here are always the children. That's what happens. This is why, and I'm a victim of what they're talking about. So it's just one of those things that we have to be aware that it's happening, especially as young Christians. And we need to rise up to the occasion and break this cycle. So young Christian, look, if you're going into marriage, which you should be, yeah, you're going to choose your partner, which you should be, and you're planning to start a family, which you should be, you need to go in there with a mind that you're not going to recreate, or should I say, allow these generational curses to follow your family, which is something that I did. In some of my old videos, I mentioned, guys, that I saw some of these issues. I saw Christians getting divorced. I saw random worldly people getting divorced. Divorce was rampant. I saw how it affected me because I didn't have a father. And I said to myself, I'm not going to let that happen to me. I'm not going to marry someone and divorce them. I'm not going to have a child out of wedlock. And I didn't have any of my children out of wedlock. I made sure that I followed the plan, I stuck to the plan, and yes, there were potholes in the way, and I could have easily become one of these statistics, But God would have it that I escaped those things and got my own wife, married her, and then started having children. This is something I think should be a mandate for every young Christian. If you're going to follow this path, and I'm saying if and not you should, because even God himself gives us a choice. I don't want to sit here and say you have to get married. I do think that it's God's will that everyone is married, apart from and the Bible doesn't say that you choose to be these people who, should I say, the Enochs or whatever they call them. You don't choose that. You're called like literally from before you were born. So you don't just wake up and decide, I'm going to be a Paul, right? So unless you're one of those people, which you would know, you are created to get married and start a family. The Bible gives a general mandate and says that be fruitful and multiply. It said that you should be a husband of one wife, and so on and so forth. So that mandate is general. There are specific people who are not meant to do that, and that is not your choice to make. If you choose to, and again, guys, I say God gives us choice. He says choose life. He says, I put in front of you this, that, life, death, blessings, curses, blah, blah, blah. But I advise you choose life. That's what the Bible says. So you have a choice in everything that you do. So if you don't want to get married, it's your choice. This is why when I speak about women who say they don't want kids, I'm not basically trying to tell them, oh, okay, you're stupid. You shouldn't be saying that. No, what I'm saying is that don't make a stupid choice and then come and cry about it later, right? In other words, don't make choice out of emotions and just out of watching TikTok and watching Instagram, and then you base your entire life on it and then come back later and start crying. I'm saying that make informed choices, because there are people who decide to do things and they do not regret it. And you can't make choices frivolously because regret can be around the corner. So young Christians, especially the boys, look, this video is about you. Yes, we have single mothers, but I believe single mothers don't happen without the men leaving, right? Of course, I've mentioned that women do kick men out of the house, but we do have a majority of men who don't take their responsibility of looking after their kids seriously. Like starting off with sleeping around before you got married. Like that's a big issue. Christians are doing that, right? You get a girlfriend, you sleep with her, you break up, you go to the next, you sleep with her, you go to the next, you sleep with her. Christians are doing that. So starting with something as simple as that, all the way up to actually having a kid, but you're not around. All the way to even like, those who are married, like me, we do it the right way, but we're not there. We're not present. That one is not that bad because you're still there, but it's just a little more that we need to do, which is that when we're home, we're present with the children. But yeah, guys, look, I know I've ranted enough about this. Please, young Christian, especially the male young Christian, you have a responsibility for your future family to do things right, because your children are going to ask you one day, what's your story? And you need to tell them, and you need to tell them the truth. You just can't afford to get it wrong. You can't afford to get it wrong. Choose your wife. That's your choice. God gave you the ability to choose your wife. Everything you do, God gave you the ability to choose. But he said you can lay your decision at his feet. You can say, Lord, help me. You can say, Lord, guide me. Like in the Old Testament, people were sent on journeys to look for wife for people, and on their way they said, Lord, guide me to the person you want for this person, right? You can do that. You can say, Lord, help me and guide me so that I can make the right decision and choose somebody that you've vetted, they have the same values as you, they believe in Jesus, and then start your life together. Don't create more fatherless homes. Guys, what do you think of what I'm saying? Do you agree with me? Do you think that actually, no, I'm wrong? And I was reading in some of the comments that, women were saying, well, you see, it's all father's fault, but they always blame the single mothers. I agree with that comment. I do agree with that comment. I believe majority of this issue is the men's fault. Yes, I know that there are homes that were broken up by the women, but I think when men stand up, and I'm not talking about all this like expectations that women are putting on men today. No. I'm talking about when men have integrity. I believe that women tend to follow and lead. In the majority, of course, there are wicked women out there, guys. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that, you can be the best man in the world and the woman will just do whatever you want. No, there are wicked women out there. But in general, there is a pocket of women, majority, who just want to be led. They just want a man. Once they get that man, like they can talk all day long, they can sing all day long and say, oh, men are trash, men are trash. As soon as they meet a man who loves them and will protect them and do anything for them, all that stuff disappears. I've seen it, and I'm sure you guys have seen it on YouTube and TikTok. All that stuff disappears, right? And they become everything that a woman should be, and they love their husbands to death, and people are attacking them, right? I did a video not too long ago where a woman was talking about her relationship online and how the man is fantastic, and all the women who were still hurt were like, what? How could you? No, he's gonna hurt you. So I believe when men stand up, women do tend to love us. So I do believe this is the fault of men who were, you know, just sleeping around, just waste men and just doing whatever. Yes, women choose them as well. So women are at fault as well. Yeah, but I do think that men are the ones that take this brunt. And we talk about, you know, men being in prison and things like that. At the end of the day, yes, you know, there's injustice there, but we can't ignore the fact that, you know, some people did commit crime, right? It's true. Yes, there is injustice there. Don't get me twisted. But I still believe that some of these people committed those crimes. You can't just say, oh, percentage of men are incarcerated and ignore why they're being incarcerated. There will be a percentage of that was injustice, but there will also be a percentage of that was justified. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Guys, remember I have a reaction channel. I react to trailers. I do some movie reviews over there, gaming reviews, and all of the shenanigans over there. Please go over there and give me a like, comment, and subscribe to that channel. And if you enjoyed my little rant today about fatherless homes and these young kids who are expressing themselves, please give me a like, comment, and sub. I'm trying to get to that 1,000 sub. I'd really appreciate your sub today. Thank you for watching my videos. I'll see you on my next one. It's the same language that they're using now for children. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Before we get into this video, guys, please do all the YouTube stuff. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let's check out this video.
Love is a lie, but the whole idea of love has been weaponized against women in order to get us to provide labor for free or without any kind of recognition or acknowledgement. Like if someone's a chef and they cook food for people, that's a job. And they're compensated for it.
That's not a fair comparison.
If someone is a nanny and they take care of children, that's a job and they're compensated for and appreciated for it. If someone is a SW or even a mistress, they're usually compensated and appreciated
These
for
are not
it.
good comparisons.
When you become a mother, you are not
a job.
compensated or appreciated for any of these things. I don't have a good relationship with my mother. And the older I've gotten, the more I'm like, oh, okay. Even though I don't think she was a very good mother, it makes a lot of sense why she wasn't a good mother. Because what a thankless job for 98% of women who occupy it. And we're supposed to do it all with a smile on our face because love. Because you love your children. That's why you take care of them. Because you love your husband. That's why you married him. That's why you feed him. That's why you pick up after him. That's why you forgive him. That's why you're romantic with him, even if you don't feel like being romantic with him. Because he has needs and you love him and it's your job to fulfill them. It's your job to bend over backwards for your husband and your children because you love them and that's your reward. If you date men, it's supposed to be because you're trying to find love. Any other reason would be shallow, and you're a shallow, vapid if you have any other intention or reason to want to date a man. Men, on the other hand, well, they have to ease into love. They're not so prone to love. They're visual creatures.
There's a lot going on here.
Super young. They want someone who's super hot. You know, love isn't so much their thing. Sure, they love their children, but not like a mother could love their children.
Oh my days.
Sure, they love their wives, but not like a woman loves a man. You see how love implicates women and lets men off the hook?
So, a woman like this is not likely to get somebody to be with them. They come up with ways to be victims. She made comparison to things that didn't match. She's basically saying you should be paid for being a woman. You're not paid for just being born. You pay because you work. And being a mother is not something that we generally call work. I know people start calling it work, but really and truly it's a privilege, right? Being a father is a privilege. Being a mother is a privilege. It just so happens the way God made it that when you want to have a kid, there's a way to conceive, and also it's painful to give birth. But in its true essence, being a mother or being a father is a privilege. However, a woman like this, and this is something that's been going on a lot right now in the world, which is that they're beginning to demonize motherhood. Like, women are talking about not having children now. They're talking about being childless. And you have a lot of women now who not only don't have children, but by the time they hit 30, 40, they're childless, right? And they have nobody to look after them when they get old. This is actually an epidemic. It's actually a thing. And then you have the people who have money anyway, who freeze their egg, especially if they've not been able to secure a guy by a particular age. They freeze their egg just in case. But really and truly, we have women out there right now who are going on social media talking about, you don't need to have a child, you know, it's cool to be childless, there's no child doing this or doing that. The same way that we're talking about men. This is the same way that we're talking about men, right? When these feminists start coming up and saying, oh, you don't have to be locked down by a relationship because you don't have to do this and do this. You can get up whenever you want. You can do this whenever you want. It's the same language that they're using now for children. The same thing. They say, well, you don't need to get up and do this. You don't need to, you know, listen to this noise, and you don't need to have to go on. You can get up whenever you want, go wherever you want, pack up and go to another country whenever you want. That's the language they're going for. And they're glamorizing it. But women like this exist. And unfortunately, right now, what they're saying makes a lot of sense to them. But there comes a time when the man's wisdom is no longer able to carry him. Our wisdom, the wisdom of a man, is not enough to carry you after a certain point. You reach your own conclusion, that's fine. But when the time comes to pay the piper, when you get older, when you're 40, when you're sitting in your house by yourself, when you're 50 and you're sitting in your house by yourself, or when you're going to the park and you're watching other people with their families, and you wonder, should I have done it differently? It's too late. It's too late. It's so sad though, right? It must be, guys, I spoke about in one of my videos that one of the mysteries of life is when the Bible said that you can deceive yourself. What we call coping right now, the word we use as coping, which is essentially you lie to yourself. Instead of telling yourself the truth and saying, look, you messed up there, that was silly, you double down and you're like, yeah, well, that wouldn't have happened if this person didn't do this. And then convince yourself that you're right. Convince yourself you're the victim. You begin to believe yourself. I'm telling you guys, I still don't understand how that works. I really don't. I don't understand how I can lie to myself, but it's a real thing. And this is what's happening. This woman believes that love in itself is basically bondage to her. Love in itself, because only she has to love, and that love in itself is somehow evil to her or holding her back, and men don't have to do that. Okay, what else can you say? It is just unfortunate. We live in this life, and life sometimes doesn't give you second chances. Yes, we try and hope for people getting second chances, but sometimes life doesn't give you second chances. Trying to do what you could have done in your 20s, when you're 40, 50s, it's not gonna work. Guys, what do you think of what I'm saying? What do you think about the video? Do you agree with her? Do you agree with me? Have you seen this type of talk before? Especially what I mentioned about women saying they're going childless now and they don't want to have kids, and demonizing those who do have kids or those who want to have kids. Just like people are demonizing people who want to be married, especially those who want to be married early, and they're calling them pick-me's and stuff like that. How the language changes, and those who have what they want, right? Because at some point you're going to become 40 and you're going to be jealous of that 20, 30-year-old who did what they're supposed to do. And then you become bitter against them, and then it turns to something else. What do you guys think of that? Is that something you guys know about? Have you experienced that? Have you seen it? Do you see it around you? Let me know about it in the comments below. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed what I was saying, and subscribe to my channel, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys on my next video. When there's times of peace, we complain a lot. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Please leave a like on the video, comment and sub. Today's video, let's get it.
Do you want to know one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously as a liberal woman,
The fact that she said he's not conservative twice
and I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship,
is a red flag.
not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing.
What is she saying?
Most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking?
Wait, but then you want the man to compromise. This video is confusing. So she's saying she's a liberal. They don't believe in traditional stuff, right? Or am I wrong? Am I getting it wrong? From what I'm in America, of course, probably also in the UK, liberals believe the old ways no longer apply. Conservatives lean more towards the old ways, traditional Christian values, blah, 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 right? She's a liberal woman, but she wants a conservative man that's not conservative. Am I right in what she's saying? Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like she's saying she wants a liberal man that has conservative values, which makes him conservative. He's not liberal. It doesn't make sense. But it is interesting. It goes to a different conversation that I was talking about with my wife. And we were talking about gender roles. We were talking about the current day and things like that. The discussion was basically about how women, I believe women should have rights. Women should be able to vote. Women should be able to work, all that good stuff. The old way where women were not necessarily property, because I think slaves were more property than women were, but they didn't have right to do certain things, basically. I believe women should have those rights. But also, I believe that they should be honest in terms of what they want to do. Because while there's the big argument around pay gap and stuff like that, women are working, but they're working in safe jobs. They're working in offices. They're working in jobs that are out of harm's way. Whereas men are still doing the dangerous jobs, right? And I think that's okay. I think women can work and still admit that they don't want to do those jobs. And that would be perfectly fine. But unfortunately, what we have in this day and age is women still arguing against those jobs, but they're not going to do them. They still want to be CEO. They want to be managers. They want to be in the office. They want to do work from home, but they don't want to go to the underwater oil mining and all that hard labor. And I don't think they should, personally, because I still believe women should be women. But my argument against my wife is that no matter how much women argue this point, in a heartbeat they will change to traditional roles, because this is what happens in real life, even in Bible times. When there's times of peace, we complain a lot, men and women alike. When there's times of peace, we complain a lot. Things that were okay before all of a sudden become irritating. Marriages that were going well end in divorce. That's what happens in the time of peace. But when push comes to shove, I believe women will change like that. Back to the gender roles. That's how it works. They will want men to protect them. They will want men to go to war. They will want men to, do the dangerous job. They want their husband to go to the door when something dangerous is at the door. It is what it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. And this is what I think is happening in this video. This woman is saying, I want to have all the benefits of being a liberal, and I also want to have all the benefits of a traditional conservative man, which, to be honest, is impossible, because a liberal man will not value traditional roles. And she's confirmed that herself. I do know a lot of men who consider themselves liberal. They don't believe in the gender role. They don't believe in traditional. Maybe they exist. I don't know. Maybe they exist. But from her admission, she can't find any of those type of men who are liberal but hold traditional value. Because traditional men, Christian value men, or men of that side tend to be more masculine. They tend to be more tough, comfortable in their masculinity, whereas liberal men, sometimes they're trying to balance both. They feel like they've wronged women. And the thing that black people are doing to Americans right now, where it's as if Americans owned slavery when they didn't. Slavery been there the whole time. But yeah, guys, what do you think? Do you think this lady has been confusing? Do you think she's giving mixed messages? Or do you actually think that there are liberal men that hold those values in real life? And if so, why isn't she able to find those men to settle with her. Whatever your thoughts are, guys, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in my next reaction. Hi guys, Happy New Year. Welcome back to my channel. Continuing my relationship advice, marriage advice, and reacting to dating and all the shenanigans that's going on out there. I really feel sorry for our young people because things have changed a lot for you guys, and it's not the dance between men and women that has changed. It's the rules that have been placed on them due to all these racial stuff, societal norms that are being challenged by your generation, I guess. People who are trying to make changes to things that were just normal before, but all of a sudden now they're not normal. They didn't think this through. I don't think they did anyway, because making changes in those things mean that it will affect not just everything, but also dating, also the relationship between men and women. So I feel sorry for you guys. You know, I don't think it's easy out there. If you have your head a bit screwed on, you have more of a potential to be okay. But if you've kind of taken in on all some of these ideologies, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot, especially if you believe them. The world has been running a certain way. Yes, we can innovate, but there are just certain things that will just remain the same. There's nothing you can do about it. You can try and be delusional about it. You can lie to yourself about it. The Bible says we can lie to ourselves and believe it. It is a thing. Before I get into today's video, please do leave a like on the video, comment, and sub. Do all the YouTube stuff. Let's go.
Gentlemen, please, I beg of you, stop saying cute, forward-looking stuff to us on a first date. Number one, women remember everything. Number two, women believe you when you say it. No joke, I've been on first dates recently where a guy said to me, "Will you be my girlfriend?" Another guy said to me, "This date is going really well, but I think the potential of us is even greater." And the worst of all of them, a guy asked me to go IKEA furniture shopping with him. That is like emotional cocaine talk. Please, stop leading us on.
That one is funny. This is an older woman speaking, so you can imagine in her position, she's probably desperately, not in a bad way, but you know, she doesn't have the time that a young person would have, where you could just literally be like, he treated me well, but he didn't dress nice. Next person. With her, she's like the very next person. She's hoping and has high expectation that she will be able to kind of, this is it. She's not trying to be out there, guys, basically. She's not trying to be out in the game. She's not trying to be out in the street dating. So she's hoping that, look, just give me one. Let's go. Just give me one. As opposed to what young people will be battling. But be that as it may, it is a good video. There are men who do this. They do tend to be men who are ready to settle down. Most men who are not ready to settle down will not be saying things like this. They will not be saying, "Oh, will you be my girlfriend?" Or those are the type of language of men who are just basically ready to settle down, or what they call them online, which is simps. I don't think they're simps. Some men just know what they want and they go for it. It is interesting to note that while after they say those words to her, she doesn't secure the relationship, or they don't go any further with her. So there's a bit of some red flags there. For them to not be securing the relationship after saying that about her, which means they were probably very much into her, it's a bit weird. But young people, just be aware. A lot of men who are ready to settle down normally talk like this. They can be seen as moving too quick. They can be seen as simps. It is what it is. They can be seen as nice guys too, right? Because they kind of say all the nice stuff to women, and you hear that and you're like, oh, why is he giving me everything I want? It is what it is. But guys, look, young Christians, don't play the game that people are playing in the world. Our job is to look at character. Look at the character of the person you're dating. Withhold the goods, the things that belong in marriage, and spend time with the person to get to know them until the point where you are able to judge their character. Of course, you will never know somebody fully until you start living with them in marriage, but you can have a good idea of who they are. How do they respond to situation? What do they do? What do they like? What do they not like? Or are they overbearing? Are they controlling? And so on and so forth. And you also need to be ready to match whatever energy that they are on. If you can judge that they're good people or they're a good person, or they will love you and treat you well, then you need to be able to match that energy as well. Because sometimes we go into a relationship just, you know, expecting from the person, oh, you're supposed to do this, oh, you're supposed to do this, oh, you're supposed to do it. You forget what you are supposed to do. But yeah, guys, what do you think of the video? It wasn't what I expected. I think the red pill would probably tell the man that she's talking about to stop talking like that because of how they appear. But as you can see, like I mentioned, the age of the woman, she's in a position where she's like, look, I'm not wasting time. You know, I'm ready for a serious relationship. And she'll be ready to grab the next man who gives her that security. Whereas a young person who speaks like this will probably not get girls, to be frank, right? Because the young lady has options and they can judge you from everything. You can have 90% and be missing 10% and they'll just be like, ew, I don't want it because of how he's speaking. But I really hope that Christian girls are not moving that way these days, because I think Christian girls, you should be able to know how to choose the guy that you want. You know what I mean? Yes, looks are there too, definitely. I 100% support that. Looks should be part of your choosing process, but use more spiritual senses, you know, around looking at the person's character, look at the person's love for you, their heart for you, and also like, are they hardworking, are they ambitious? Things like that make more sense than just writing somebody up because they don't dress well. Guys, let me know what you think of this video. Leave a like, comment, and sub. Remember, I have a reaction channel for other shenanigans, from gaming to trailers and other stuff. Please go over there, give me a subscribe on that channel and watch my videos over there. Give me a like on this video if you enjoyed my reaction. I'll see you on the next one. These lies are what gets us to where we are now.
Toxic modern day feminists be like, do not hold the door open for me. Do not say ladies first. I am a boss babe. I am an independent woman. I pay my own bills. I have a big girl job. All men are trash. I don't need a man, okay? What do I have to offer in a relationship? We're just lucky to be with someone like me, a boss babe. Yes, I mean, I don't cook, clean. I'll probably talk down to you all the time. Also, my place is a really bad mess. There's trash everywhere. I go out every single weekend, you know, drink with the girls trip. You know, I have sex with random different men at the bar that I take home. Wow. But it's because I'm an independent woman. That's empowering for us women, okay? You can't handle that, you're just insecure. Then when these women finally get in relationships, they're just like, why is the guy that I'm dating some bum ass loser? All he does is take money from me, he doesn't work, and he treats me like crap. Where did I go wrong? Where are all the good men at? No one wants me. I'm sorry, but you scared away all the good men, but you got your bum ass loser guy now. You can take care of him. You're a boss babe. You don't need no man. He can depend on you, right?
I really love this clip because it kind of shows the hypocrisy, and it also shows how women have been deceived in this area. Look, guys, I'm not that guy who's going to say that women are all the problem. I know that there's problems on the men's side as well. And I know that men have their part to play as well. And I'm not going to neglect talking about that. But in regards to this video, this is the lie that has been sold. You're told to become men. Essentially do the things that we were doing. There was a video that I watched recently where women were talking about now that they've reached the status of men career-wise, they are not willing to date men who are equal to them in status. Neither are they willing to date down to men who are not up to par with them financially. So they are always looking up to those who are earning higher than them, even though they're already high earners, which means those type of women end up, like this lady said, with bums. Because that woman is going to say no to all the good men until she gets to 40, until she gets to 45. And during that time, she's going to date. And then when she's now desperate, she's going to settle for that guy who's a bum, because she's got money and she could just keep telling her, send me money, right? Oh, I need money for this. Oh, I need money for that. And because she doesn't want to be alone, she will continue to feed that habit. Just like this lady said, this is what happens. But unfortunately, women are always going to look for men who, you know, have higher status than them, men that they can look up to. And as a result, they limit their dating capabilities because they are high earners now and they're not going to date somebody who is earning less than them. It's very interesting. But you see how everything comes full circle, because at some point you're going to settle for that person who you do have to date down. These lies are what gets us to where we are now. It's unfortunate.
Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
Bear. Man is scary. With a bear. What I've heard about bears, they don't always attack you, right? Unless you like with them. So maybe a bear.
Seriously?
Depends what man, but probably a bear. Oh, 100% a bear, which is like terrible.
Wow.
Definitely a bear. Some men are very scary out there. A bear.
I would say.
Is this for real?
Man.
Okay, we got
Would
one.
you rather be stuck in a forest?
Wait, what's the point of the question? Why specifically a bear? That's another. Anyway, I guess it could have been anything. It could be a lion or whatever. I mean, I'm not surprised that women of this time would say a bear. Some of them may be trolling, but if we treat the question logically, the answer should be a man, right? Because like I say in most of my videos, most average man, right, unless they specify the man is just a man, right? Most average men are protecting women. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time on my channel, please leave a like on the video, comment and sub. Today's video, let's go.
My husband is my boss. My husband is number one. My husband tells me, hey, sit down, I'll sit down. If he tells me you can't go out with your friends today, I'm not gonna go out with my friends. Says, hey, go wash this dish for me. I'm gonna go wash the dish for him. I chose this man to be the king of my life, and yes, I agree with everything he says, and I do everything he says. And I did that because I chose this man. I put him in this position in my life, and this is how I honor and take care of and love the man in my life. So I tell women out there, you want a man in your life, you want to be happy? Figure out what you would do when you are happy. Because I am happy. My husband does so many great things for me. And I would do that for him. I obey him, I respect him, and I let him be the man that he is. I chose a man that I want to follow. I chose someone to lead me, and that's why I will do anything for him. If he tells me jump, I'll jump. If he tells me sit down, I'll sit down. If he tells me go in the room or go up on stage, I will do it.
There are two things here that's clashing with each other. So on the one hand, she says she loves her husband so much, and that part sounds really nice. But then she mixes it with these very negative parts, like if he tells me to jump, if he tells me to go, if he tells me to come. Don't fall for these type of extreme language. So these are the type of relationship advice that I call extreme. On one side, you got the manosphere and the feminism, who are basically gone to the other extreme of don't even get married at all. And then you've got women like this who go, yes, do get married, but be subservient. This is not a real marriage. That's a man and a child. I'm not supposed to go up to my wife and tell her, go, come, sit, get up. That's not how marriage works. You're meant to be on equal footing. You're not equal in your gender. Your genders are different and your roles are also different. What we're capable of are different. Yes, the man is still the head, but he's not a tyrannical head. There was a video I did before where a lady was saying, 5 or 6 things you can't say to your husband. One of those words were, why? And a woman should definitely be able to ask her husband why. If he says, I need to spend this money, I need to start this business, I need to buy this car, you need to be able to say why. You need to be able to bring some balance into his life, because a man left to himself will make decisions on his own without your input, your emotional input. Both our logic, our masculinity still need to be balanced by the emotional femininity of a woman. And also, the emotional femininity of a woman needs to be balanced by the masculine, logical, whatever of a man. So we need each other. I don't agree with this relationship that she just played out in this video. Yes, I like the mushy part where she says, oh, I love him and I chose him, so because of that, I'm going to give him this power. But the power she's given him makes her his child. She's not his wife. Your husband is your best friend. He's your lover. He's somebody you can be real with. He's not somebody who commands you. Yes, there will be time when he says, this is where we're going. But he's not a commander, right? He's basically saying, this is my vision. And then that's your opportunity to submit to where he's going, in the direction he's going in life. There is a time to put your foot down as a man, but you don't treat your woman as a child. This is one of the reasons why I started my channel, because there just seems to be so much extreme language going on. The battle between the red pill and feminists, and then now you've got this like traditionally religiously married people, but they've also started their own extremism. Like there is a middle ground, right, where we stay, where we are happily married and both husband and wife give each other the freedom to flourish. You don't treat each other like children, if that makes sense. Marriage wasn't that complicated in the past. It was just straightforward. Boy meets girl, they do life together, right? And they have fun. They have the highs and the lows, but they, you know, they go together in the journey. It's that simple. All these extra rules and it's just unnecessary. These are the type of marriages that I saw when I was growing up, the negative marriage. So remember I told you guys I saw a lot of positive marriages, but I also saw marriages ending in divorce. But then I also saw this type of marriage, and they normally happen in a very religious setting where some of the women actually believe the man is allowed to do anything with them. There will be almost like a doormat to the man. Some of these relationships actually allow the man to marry other wives. So it's a religious type of thing that allows marrying of a second wife or third wife or whatever. You know, we have a lot of that in Africa. So the women tend to be like this woman, right? They tend to be just overly, and I don't like using the word overly because I don't think you can be overly submissive, but it applies here because that's a bit too much. Those type of relationships, I don't agree with them anyway. I don't think a man should marry 2 or 3 wives. Somebody tried to make the argument that it's necessary because men were more than women, and then before you know it, they changed their mind and said women were more than men. Really and truly, the stats on that have said that we're almost equal. I think men are more, actually, from what I've seen. But regardless, that argument was debunked. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Remember to leave a like on the video, share, subscribe. I'll see you on my next video. It's a strange world we live in, though. A lot of times, great women like this marry stupid men. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I heard this video was triggering a lot of people online, so I just want to react to it for you guys. Let's go.
I'm so grateful to God. I have so many and a million words to say to tell you how much I love you. But one thing I want to tell you and promise you.
So is this real? Is this a real wedding?
I'll forever submit.
I can see why now.
Forever submit to you.
Okay, it's a real wedding.
I'll forever submit to you, Miles. I'll forever respect you, Miles. I'll forever honor you, Miles, as the head of our home and no other. There is no other.
Wow, she's pretty.
No plans of hell will ever prosper in our marriage and will ever hold me not to be a wife that is a Proverbs 31 woman. I will become that woman that builds the home as I follow you, as you follow Christ.
Wow, she's making a really deep vow here.
Household. And I promise
It's always interesting to see people make these vows at their wedding day, and then 10 years later, or even less, really, sometimes it's 5 years later, and they hate each other's guts.
This is beyond just love. This is about God. This is about kingdom. This is about our duty, reflecting to the world what true marriage, what God really intends for marriage to be. I honor you, Miles. and I love you with my all.
Oh, that's sweet. All right, guys, so the elephant in the room, I think the kneeling is what probably triggered a lot of people, especially, I'm sure, the feminists. I'm sure the manosphere are loving this and they're probably hailing her as the best woman in the world. But the feminists are probably going to be angry at this because how dare you kneel to a man? We brought you out of oppression and you're kneeling to a man. Personally, I don't agree with how public it is. I think something should be kept private, and something like that, I get what she was doing and I'm not really mad at it, but just personally, like, I wouldn't want my wife to do that. Basically, I would prefer she does it personally, like between me and her. But again, I get what she was doing. It's their wedding day and that's what she wanted to do, and in that sense itself, that entire thing she did was holy, and I believe doing it in public means other people can hold her accountable as well, because this is the thing about marriage, guys. You make your vows and then 5 years later you hate each other's guts. You forget completely what you vowed. You forget all the promises you made, for better, for worse, in sickness and in health. While he's been a douchebag or been a great man, you're meant to be there regardless. You know what I mean? So yeah, in that sense, people can hold her like, remember you said this, you know, but I don't think that's ever worked in history. Yeah, it's interesting because, guys, if you notice, I've been showing like the trad wife, and noticing how much the trad wife trend has been triggering people. So it continues to expose that thing, which is that feminists or feminism is no longer about the freedom of women to choose. It's about women choosing what feminists want them to choose. Because at the end of the day, if you are a feminist, you should be fighting for the right of women to, as much as be free from men or douchebag men, but also be free to make the choice to be with men. I don't really see anything wrong in what she said. I don't really see anything wrong in what she did. My criticisms are personal. They're not a norm. They're not like me saying this should never be done. It's just because I'm a private person, and those kind of things I like to be private. I don't like them to be public. I think her kneeling to her husband is very symbolic. It's great as long as she remembers those vows, and as long as he also remembers those vows and not be a douchebag and be a terrible leader or a terrible husband. He's found a good one because she's promised to submit to his leadership, so he needs to lead properly. He can't be a terrible leader. He can't be a cheater. He can't defile the marriage bed. He has to be strong, he has to be assertive, affirmative, and he has to know where he's going so he can lead this wonderful woman in the way that he is going, right? So she can follow a strong leader. It's a strange world we live in, though. It is what it is. A lot of times great women like this marry stupid men, and I don't know. I don't know. But I love seeing when a woman who has her head screwed on, who knows what she wants, who's willing to be submissive to a leadership of a strong man or a good husband, finding or being with a good man, a strong man, a good husband, which means her feelings and her love will not be misplaced. But when they end up with those douchebags, remember that video I showed you with the deadbeat guy with 7 kids, and he said he would pay for their abortions, and good girls always go with those type of men, which is terrible. And then they become the heartbroken women of the future who tell their children that men are trash and they don't need no man and all that good stuff. All we can do is just raise our children the right way so that they will know how to choose the right men or the right women. Do you think this woman went too far? Do you think it was a bit cringe? Or do you think that she did fantastic? Did it make you cry? Did it bring a tear to your eye? Do you think this is something you would want to do on your wedding night? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Leave a like on the video, share the video, sub to my channel, guys. I'm still on my way to the 1,000 subscribers. I'll see you on my next reaction.
Why is it that I can only love one man, like love forever?
Because that's your biology.
A lot of men.
Men and women, we love different.
Yes.
Hear me out. No, hear me out. Men, when they love, they sacrifice. They sacrifice their freedom, they sacrifice their money, they sacrifice for one woman. The majority of the time when they do that, we don't hold up our end of the relationship. They usually get complacent. If I meet you, the metric is at 10, keep it there. I ask you to do something, you don't do it just because you were just simply lazy. Eventually, I'm going to be, okay, well, the trash has been taken out. Now, I'm not going to vacuum the carpet. Now it's sex time. Now I don't want to put out. Clean the carpet. You didn't wash,
Tit for tat.
feed the kid. It just adds up.
But that's childish.
It's not childish. It's
It
transaction.
is.
Everything in life is transactional. That's normal.
What do you guys think? Both man and woman go out to work. They both come home tired, and the woman still has responsibilities to do. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I've got another video for you. Before we check out today's video, guys, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate your sub today. I'm trying to become a YouTube partner and I need about 1,000 subscribers to do that. So I'd really appreciate you guys subbing to my channel. Let me know what you guys think of the video we're about to watch. Leave a comment as well. Let's check out today's video.
Job for a woman to come home, cook, clean, and take care of the kids, and also go to a job like a man. So you're telling me that a woman has to go work like a man every day, and a man goes work, and he's tired when he gets home. A woman's not tired. She has to clean, cook, do the dishes, do the laundry. Are you kidding me?
Why don't you want to do that?
What are you talking about? Why don't I want to do it? You know how fucking tiring that is? Have you done that?
I do it every day.
First of all, yelling doesn't mean you're winning an argument. It's a sign of low intelligence. You can lower your voice and speak to me. I'm sitting right here. I can hear you. Your point is invalid, and you sound like the rest of these unwedded women talking about the modern day women right there. I'm gonna go to work like you. Do you want me to cook, clean? First of all, if that was the case, so what? Yes, you're gonna cook, clean, do this and do that. And guess what? He taking the trash out, he fixing the house, he making sure this. Y'all have different responsibilities and different roles. Now, amongst modern day women, we're equal. We're not. We're both important. We're equally important to the relationship, but we have different duties, functions, and responsibilities. And you yelling, oh, I gotta cook, clean, yes, because don't nobody care. But at the same time, my wife don't care if the AC duct needed to be cleaned and it was $300. She won't even know that the man came and went. We have different duties and functions and responsibilities. And if you don't love your duty, your function, and your responsibility, you're not fit to be a wife, period.
Okay, guys. This one is a hard one. This one is an interesting one and also a hard one. First of all, I want to repeat that I hate the argument between the feminism movement, modern feminism, or the modern women that they say, and the manosphere and red pill. So men argue strongly, like this man here, against the modern woman, and the modern woman argues strongly against the men. There's a few things I want to correct in this video. I agree that the young lady was shouting, but again, she could have been passionate. They're having a debate. It is what it is. What I don't agree with, and I think I agree with the lady on this one, is that both man and woman go out to work, and then they both come home tired, and the woman still has responsibilities to do. I also agree that this in itself is unfair. Now, let me be clear. I believe that where possible, the man should be the breadwinner and the woman be at home and enjoy that life. I know some women don't like that. Some women want to be bus babes. That is your thing. Enjoy yourself. Do what you want to do. But I think where possible, and women, I think you probably would like this type of lifestyle. Where possible, the man should be the breadwinner. He should be earning more than enough for the family, and the woman stays home and looks after the home, enjoys herself, maybe she can have a little something on the side that she can do while she's at home, a little business she can run from home. That's perfect. However, if you choose or you require from your wife to work, right? You're not making enough and you demand that your wife needs to work and she doesn't want to work, but you say you need her to help you and she needs to go to work. You as the man must make adjustment, because now she's doing the same thing that you're doing. That means you can't expect her to come home now and still look after the home and still look after the children and still do all the womanly duties that you expect from her if she wasn't working. This in itself is unfair. If you chose the equal path, if you chose the 50-50 path, then it truly has to be 50-50. You have to come home and help with the kids. You have to come home and help with the cleaning. You have to come home and help with this and that. The young man in the video said, oh, I fixed the air conditioner, whatever, and I pay for it. She's making money too, okay? And she can pay for the air conditioner. The gardening can be done, it's not done every day. but kids are done every day. What's it called? Food is done every day. Cleaning is done every day, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of these daily house chores or daily house maintenance that happens on a daily basis that is normally expected of the woman. If you choose a 50-50 part, you must help out with it. Of course, remember also that you're the man, so you can take more. So if it means that you do the 50-50 cleaning thing with your wife, and then on a weekend you have to do the gardening, you should not expect her to help you with that, because you're the man, you're strong, but you chose a 50-50 part. You need to help with the daily stuff. That's my opinion. I was in the camp previously, right? And this is why it's important that we allow people to grow and change their mind. You can change your mind, guys. It's not a bad thing for you to think a certain way when you were 20, and then at 30 you think a different way. That is absolutely part of evolution and growth. I was in the camp of whether you're working or not, the woman still has to do everything. I thought about it. I listened to a few people talk about it, and I thought, yeah, that's actually true. And this is why I'm feeding this back to you guys. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's truly 50-50. If your wife has to go to work like you, do 8 hours a day like you, and come home and still have to look after the home, you need to help out. When you get home, if you get home the same time, you have to compromise. Somebody needs to drop the kids off at school. Somebody needs to, maybe if one person does the kitchen, you do the living room. Like, you have to balance that. But like I said, ideally, because remember, this is the world we live in now. Back in the day, it worked. Unfortunately, now it's a different time and things are more expensive. So a lot of families are finding themselves in this position where the woman has to now go to work to help out with finances. So if you find yourself in that position, you love each other, reach a compromise. That's what I think. Here's another side of this though. If you have a husband that makes enough money to support the family, and he's generous with that. I think generous is the wrong word. Your money is merged, right? It's his money, but it's your money. But you still choose to go for that bus babe life. I would be fully on the husband's side. Yeah, I would say if you're choosing to go to work and you don't need to, the husband says, no, you shouldn't be going to work. What do you need for me to make this right? Do we need to budget extra money? Is there something you want to buy? Is there something you want to do? Is there somewhere you want to be going on a regular basis? And the husband really tries his best to kind of accommodate you. Budgeting is not an issue because he makes enough money anyway, right? And you still choose to be a boss babe. You still choose, I want to go for a career. I want to do this and that. I would be fully on the man's side on that, because you don't need to. Families who, the husband makes like a lot of money and the woman went out to make like a fraction of that, and the money doesn't even do any damage. It doesn't do anything for the family. At most, she even keeps it for herself. I would be fully on the man's side. I would say you go to work because you chose this cross and you come home and you do your womanly duties. That's what I would say, right? Because there's no agreement on that. That sounds a little bit harsh, but I think more than anything, you should be in full agreement. I mean, why? Anyway, that's just my opinion. But if you find yourself where it's the man who's saying the woman has to work, then the man needs to reach a medium where he helps out in the home as well. So I get the argument that she's making. So in this particular video, guys, I'm on the woman's side. I do think if you both work, then you both need to manage the house. Maintenance, 50-50. And also, if you have a baby as well, get in there and carry that baby when the baby's crying. Get in there and do some feeding. Get in there and make the formula. Get in there and put the baby to sleep and let the mother have some rest time. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree with the lady or do you agree with the man? Do you believe that, the woman should still come home and do all the chores? The man comes home and only fix the air conditioner once a month or once a year, and does the gardening once a month, and he says that's his part to do. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below, guys. Before I go, please remember to help me to reach that 1,000 subscriber mark so I can become a YouTube partner. You can make that possible if you just hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate your sub today. I'll see you guys in my next video. Don't make decisions like this at your 20s and 30s, because when you're 30, you think differently. When you're 40, you think differently. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, please leave a like on the video, comment and sub. Let's check out today's video.
Choose somebody who you know loves you enough to change your diaper. Don't sit there and choose somebody for your 20-some-year-old self, your 30-some-year-old self. You better choose somebody for your 70-year-old. I tell you this as a woman.
I love that.
After 40 years, after all that my husband and I been through, when it was time to bury my family, he had me. When it was time to bury his mother and father, I had him. When it was time to go through sickness, we had each other. When you have that person and they have proven through the time that they are with you, let me tell you something. You better prepare for this stage of your life.
I love this video. This is a complete contrast to the videos I've been doing recently of the ladies who are saying they don't want to have kids, they don't want children, they're too selfish to have children. When asked the question, what are you gonna do, you know, in your old age? What are you gonna do? Who's gonna look after you? Who's gonna be there for you? And they say my money, they say my career, they say my friends, they say my community. There's a stark contrast to that. So this is the other side of it. This is what I believe most people want. They want their person. And instead of divorcing left, right, and center, you're supposed to stay with this person so that when you get to this stage of your life, you go through this part together. I just thought it was interesting to hear this lady say this. She said when it was her turn, when it was time to bury her parents, he had her. And when it was time to do something for him, she had him. This is what marriage is about. You do life together. It was never that complicated. Young people, don't let the internet complicate this very simple matter. You grow up, you hit your milestones, then you get to the milestones of marriage. You pick somebody, you date them, you suss them out, and you choose somebody that is trustworthy, loving, feminine, kind, you know, all that good stuff. And of course, attractive, right? Don't miss that part out. I hate when people miss that part out. They just focus on the kind and the, no, you need to love looking at them. It is what it is. And you put a ring on it and you marry that person and you do life together. You be a good husband. And if you've picked right, that woman will try to be a good wife. Marriage is very important. And it's important also, not just for our younger days, but for the age that she's talking about right here. Either that or, you know, those who say they don't want kids, those who say they don't want a relationship, end up in a home. That's the alternative. As a young 20-year-old, you might say that's okay. But as a 70 or 60-year-old, that particular thought might be more daunting than you think. So don't make decisions like this at your 20s and 30s, because when you're 30, you think differently. When you're 40, you think differently. When you're 50, you think differently. And the most important thing to us when we start going up 40, 50, 60, 70, is family. At some point, you're going to stop working. At some point, you're no longer going to have those things that you do. You're going to be by yourself. If we keep saying about how, oh, my friends will do it, your friends won't live with you. Your money is not going to go as far as you think it will go. Your money can't do everything for you. It just baffles me when I see young people being taken away by ideologies of people who have lived their life and made their mistakes, and now they're trying to tell you that their mistake is right. When you're in your 20s and you're taking a mistake of somebody who's 40, 45, 50, that person who's singing saying it's fine to do it, but behind closed doors is crying, and you're 20 going, yeah, it's true, I don't want kids. God help us. Guys, if you enjoyed my reaction, leave a like on the video, comment and sub. Remember guys that I do have a reaction channel. It's called Angelintreacts. I'm going to put it on the screen right now. I react to trailers and all other shenanigans over there. Please give me a sub over there. And thank you for watching my video today. I'll see you on the next one. If your husband says we need to spend money on this and this and this, you should be able to say why. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, please leave a like on the video, comment and sub. Let's check out this video.
Words that a wife should never say to her husband. Why? Go to sleep. Get it yourself. I have a better idea. You have to wake up. I already know that. No, not right now. But this person's husband did this. and that person's husband did that, do this or else. If you don't do this, I will ... Check out my new book, 100 Ways to Love and Respect Your Husband, below.
Okay, so 80% of those I disagree with. And the reason why I disagree with them is that we have this movement where we have extreme obedience. I don't know if that's a word. One of the things that I avoided when I got married was this thing that I noticed when I was young with married couples of that time. They seemed to have their wife in a position where they were not standing shoulder to shoulder. It seemed as though the wife herself is a child. The wife herself has assumed a position that was just slightly above the children, but not up to the level of the husband. And I don't believe that that's how God wanted your marriage to be, where the man cannot have a relationship with his wife where she's able to speak to him on a level. She's able to talk to him on an equal playing field. And this is the type of marriages that they are speaking of here, where they only speak when they're spoken to. They don't express themselves and they avoid certain words. Even though it sounds nice, and I think the manosphere and the red pill community are gonna love these type of things, I don't think that's real marriage. And I don't think it stimulates the man the way he would probably want to be stimulated. And guess what? The men that got wives who were like this still ended up cheating. Again, it's extreme language where you can't challenge your husband. Women, look, listen, there is a way to speak to your husband where you honor him, but still get your point across. But the way these ladies are speaking is as if they assume a position of servanthood. And I don't think that's how marriage is supposed to be. You should be able to say whatever you want to your husband in respect. If you respect somebody, you still speak to them in a way where you can relate to them, but you're not approaching them as if they're this deity that you can't come close to. This is one of the things Jesus did for us. He wanted us to come closer. He didn't want us so far away where we were being formal. And I think these type of relationships make your marriage formal, but your marriage is meant to be personal. So I don't agree with these type of extreme languages towards your husband. You need to be able to relate to your husband. You can't have these type of rules at the back of your mind. Don't say why. If your husband says we need to spend money on this and this and this, you should be able to say why. I mean, you know, he needs to answer. He answers to you as much as you answer to him. But if he doesn't answer to you, then he's your master. And I don't think you're supposed to be the master of your wife. You're supposed to be her husband. Guys, what do you think of what I'm saying? Do you think I'm leaning more towards feminism? Or do you think I'm leaning more towards a manosphere? Or do you think I'm being balanced here? Because we need to balance some of these extreme languages because they float around a lot. The feminism does their own, manosphere does their own. And then you got these ultra submissive women who go to the extreme lengths of trying to prove how submissive they are. And I don't think that's real marriage. Those type of marriages, because of the way they are functioning, they function in the old way where the woman is almost like a slave and the man still cheats anyway. And in fact, those type of marriages, the man is allowed to have multiple wives. These are the type of negative marriages that I saw when I was growing up. So avoid these type of extreme languages in your marriage. You can speak to your husband freely. I hope that makes sense, guys. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Even though those words sound really nice, you need to think about the implication of what they're saying. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree with the lady? You think she's coming from a different place that I didn't understand? Or do you agree with me? Do you believe that actually, though it sounds nice, that's not actually how marriage works? Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'll see you guys on my next video. Oh?
I, on the other hand, have certain expectations.
What is wrong with this woman?
Girl I go out with on the first date. I expect her to be respectful too. I expect her to be cooperative. And at least, you know,
what did I do that wasn't cooperative?
Well, I mean, like, even like when we were walking to the car, you wouldn't put your hand around my arm or anything like that, or hold my hand or anything like that.
I mean, it's too early for that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the first day. I agree with her on that. Come on.
I can respect that. Okay. When I got to your apartment to pick you up, you didn't want to invite me in. I can respect that too. We're not
again.
Maybe
I don't
we're not
know
there
yet.
Okay. What is going on here? I'm confused.
I mean, I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a woman.
But
I got myself all made up.
There's nothing wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Is this real? What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Guys, you already know what to do. Let's check out today's video.
I successfully sued my sperm donor and now I get 40% of his paycheck. You have no idea how happy this makes me because now I can be a stay-at-home mom because 40% of his paycheck can support me fully financially.
40%.
So what happened was I'm a lesbian and I can't have babies the natural way, obviously. So I went the IVF route and I went to the bank and I bought. I get pregnant, I have my baby, I'm living with my girlfriend, she's working full-time, so she's supporting us financially, and then all of a sudden she decides she wants to break up, and she refuses to give me child support. She said, I don't want anything to do with this baby, I'm not on the birth certificate, I'm not legally obligated to take care of them, I'm out. And I said, well, what am I going to do now? Then it occurred to me, I could sue the baby's biological father. I mean, the baby wouldn't be here without him, right? So my friend that works at the sperm bank got me my sperm donor's contact info, and I texted him, and I acted like it was the wrong number. And we ended up making plans. We were texting back and forth for a while. We ended up making plans to meet up, and I hung out with him for a few months, befriended him, and then I got a DNA sample off of his cup one day, like swabbed it for his saliva. I sent it in and made sure that he actually was the biological father of my child, and he was. So I took him to court to get child support, and they granted me 40% of his paycheck.
Is this real? First of all, that's wickedness. That is wicked. So the person has no idea. Guys, as you know, what she's talking about are people who donate so that others can have children, right? I don't want to say, the exact word because of, YouTube and stuff like that. But, you go out of your way to donate. And then, wait, isn't your information confidential? Anyway, that's another thing. If this is true, that is wickedness. That's wicked. But for some reason, I don't think it's too outrageous, because then if you could do this, then people wouldn't donate. Do you get what I mean? I really think that she's either exaggerating or she's mixing the story up, because she said that they were texting, and so it sounds like there was some form of relationship going on. If not, this is so outrageous that I don't think it's real. And 40%? Some random person? Nah. I don't think it's true. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Is this true? Is this something that's happened? Does this even happen? That's what I want to know, because I would put a lot of people up donating. So yeah, damn. I don't think this is true. Let me know in the comments below. Guys, remember I do have a reaction channel, Angelintreacts. Put it on the screen right now. Please go over there, give me a like, comment, and sub. Watch my videos over there. I'll see you on my next video. One of the biggest reasons why marriages are not working today is because everyone thinks it's about love. A lot of people don't know what that word is. People think love is a feeling, which is why people can say I've fallen in love with you, and then others say I've fallen out of love. Love is not a feeling. The number one thing that keeps a marriage is this thing we call duty. You're entering a contract. You put your name on the paper saying, me and you are bound. Then you have a blood covenant. But now sex is nothing, right? But back then, sex is seen as a blood covenant. You are now bound to each other forever, and sex is supposed to be the sealing of your bodies. That's how important it used to be. Covenant from the body perspective, and then covenant from the law's perspective, means that you have made a promise that you are now in duty, forsaking all others, obeying the rules of marriage. There's rules in marriage. People think you could just get married and do whatever you want. Duty is the biggest thing. Duty has nothing to do with how you feel. I have a duty to go to work every morning. It doesn't matter how I feel. When I get up in the morning and I don't feel like going to work, that means absolutely nothing. You have to get up and go and work. Whether you love your job or not, do you want to get paid? Go to work. It's your duty. You are duty bound to your husband. You are duty bound to your wife. And it's your duty to make him happy. And it's his duty to make you happy, but not just the feeling happy, but the keeping in the confines of that marriage. People feel like love is, this feeling that you get, goosebump that you get in your stomach, and every time you look at him, once that finishes, the marriage is finished. That's not the case. A lot of times you don't feel love. A lot of times you're not feeling infatuation for your spouse. A lot of times you'll be annoyed at them. A lot of times you're going to be angry at them. A lot of times they're going to offend you. They're going to say words that's going to hurt your feelings. Duty is important, guys. All these feelings are not the things that keep marriage. They come and go. You can do things to make yourself happy, but happiness in itself is not a feeling that lasts forever.
I would tell him that he needed to figure it out. I knew that it would bother him, so I started saying that a lot and for everything that I could. I really started to resent him and I pulled away from him. I knew that it was hurting him, but I didn't care. If he didn't want to be hurt, then he would at least try to make me happy.
I don't think it's right to allow men to have multiple body count and make it look as if they're virgins.
A man's body count is not as important as a woman's body count. A lot of women are trying to act like it's the same thing. It's false. You're mad because you're already too far gone and you can't unsleep with all those guys and undo all those things you did. And so you're trying to act like it's this similar thing. It is just not, okay? Scientifically, it's not. Science can tell you women release oxytocin when we have sex. We bond. So every time you have sex with a man, you're bonding with him. You're having sex with multiple guys. You're not the same woman as the first time you had sex. Absolutely not, okay? So men want women who don't have those multiple bonds and experiences with all these strange guys. You've let men enter you. That's something that's very precious. You acted like it wasn't, so don't be mad that men still value that.
All right, so I have a few things to say about this topic. I agree partially with what she said. I do agree that men and women are different when it comes to sex. I do agree that we bond differently when it comes to sex. I also believe that a woman bonds a lot more when it comes to sex, right? So I agree with that. What I don't agree with is the notion that a man is allowed to have multiple body counts and it doesn't matter. That's what I don't like. I don't think it's right to allow men to have multiple body counts and make it look as if they're virgins. It's wrong, right? Remember, I agree with what she said. I do believe that it's different for a man. I do believe that the bonding strength is not as emotional as women and you fall hard. It does happen, which is why there's a great delusion now where a woman has to convince herself that no, I don't feel this. No, I don't like him like that. You have to actually go out of your way to tell yourself that you shouldn't feel this way. A man just like that, he's done, right? He can switch off like that. He's not even trying. But I don't think based on that, men should be allowed to be promiscuous. I don't believe in that. And also as a Christian, I don't believe in that anyway. As a Christian, you're not supposed to be promiscuous. You're not supposed to have multiple body counts. I remember when I was younger, they used to say a man should sleep with multiple women so that he'll be a good husband for his wife. That was a whole bunch of garbage. That's trash. It's actually a lot more blessed, in my opinion, to learn with your wife. When you both don't know and you both learn as you go. I think that's a lot more blessed. Like she said, men are definitely able to detach easily. Women, it's not that easy to detach. It's going to take sometimes a marriage to a completely different person before they can, and even then, they still remember. But I don't think it's a reason to allow men to be promiscuous. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to leave a like and sub. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I've got another video for you guys today. Another one sent to me by a friend who wants to know my thoughts. Guys, you know what I do here? I give marriage advice to young people or people who are married, just so that we can navigate this current day where marriage is under attack, family is under attack. You know, everybody thinks marriage is basically obsolete. And we're trying to navigate that because we believe that marriage, well, I believe that marriage is a very important part of our society and our faith, especially for young people who are coming up. And we don't want them getting into this this battle, should I say, of the red pill versus the feminism, where they're all telling you, don't get married, be alone, die alone. Before I do that, guys, please leave a like, comment, and sub if you enjoy my content. If you agree or disagree with my view on the video I'm about to show you, please let me know in the comments below as well. Let's check out today's video.
So I get this comment a lot. It says, now I understand why your Indian parents disowned you.
What?
And in case you're new here and you don't know, I'm Indian. My parents are Indian. My husband is clearly not Indian.
Okay, that's all.
Every time they pull me right in.
So my parents didn't disown me. If anything, I separated myself from them. Now, the reason being is, although my parents want to have a relationship with me, they do not really want to have a relationship with my children. And all the past and everything combined, my trust level for my parents around my kids is like that.
She's the one who made the decisions.
Okay.
She didn't get disowned because they still want to be a part of her life. She made the decision to step away for her peace and for the well-being of all the kids.
If you're not going to treat one of my kids the same as all of my kids, you don't need to be around my kids.
Wait, she said all my kids as one of my kids. So it sounds like one of her kids is probably a different race, or maybe from a different father, and they probably prefer that one kid over her other kids. And I don't know how many kids she has, maybe she has 2 or 3. But in terms of the point that she made, it is really interesting that this video was sent to me, because it is something that I've had to deal with myself. I do think it's necessary, especially if you are the one in a position, especially the man, should I say, to protect his wife. If for any reason there's some form of attack, or people being all up in your business, attacking your family, using words, and especially if those words affect your wife or your kids negatively. So every time they meet this person or see this person, they never go away happy. They always go away having been tormented somewhat by words. You ain't never gonna amount to nothing, or you married the wrong person, or your wife is this, or if you have to go through that all the time when you meet this person, I recommend cutting them off. And I don't say cutting them off like people mean cutting them off. You know, when people say cutting them off, they normally basically completely, like, this person will never exist in your life. What I mean is boundaries. So if somebody, whenever they see you, whenever they meet your wife or your children, actively see them speaking negative words to them that actively affect them, you need to approach those people and you need to say, if you continue to do this, you cannot have a relationship with me or my whatever, my family, my kids, whatever, because you as the husband or the mother must protect your family. So I understand where she's coming from. There is another line though. There's a fine line here. So when people are talking about parents disowning them, a lot of times parents disown children because they went outside of their rules and regulations, if that makes sense, or their culture. Or we have an Indian young lady who married a black man. Look, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a real thing. It still happens right now in Africa. It happens right here in the UK. It happens in America. The cultural divide is real. Don't let anybody tell you that in itself is a racism thing. I don't see it as a racism thing. I think every single race does this. Black people marry black people. White people marry white people. Indians marry Indians. When it happens that people go outside of that, it challenges our thought, like, wait a minute, you're not following the norm. That's what I believe happens. In some cases, let me not be too broad. In some cases, it is due to racism. In most cases, especially, look, even just in African culture alone, take away white people, take away Indians, and so on. Just in African cultures alone, let's say in Nigeria, when a Yoruba person tries to marry an Igbo person, it's a problem. They're both black, but they have such a cultural difference. We've had such a history of, I guess, disliking each other as a people, like, which is, again, it's something that's happened over the ages. It causes an issue. That's not even a race thing. That's just a people thing. What we would like to happen is that for that to not happen at all. However, I think this is something that has been part of our civilization, our cultures for so long. When these type of things happen, where somebody tries to marry outside of their race, eyebrows get raised. I don't think it's right, but it is what it is. But I don't think it's racism. That's my view. Having said that, though, I do believe that children do get disowned by parents sometimes because they go outside of the status quo. And in my opinion, I don't think that in itself is right either, because then you get these type of situations where you're never going to be part of your grandchildren's life. You're never going to be part of your child's life anymore. What we should be doing is you raise your child up to a point. The child becomes an adult. Now you need to let that child navigate life on his own with very minimum guidance. Like when I teach people various skills, when I teach them up to a certain point, I say, after this point, I'm not teaching you anymore. You take that skill and you go and develop it, do what you want with it, create your own style, create your own form, if that makes it. Like, we talk about martial arts a lot. When the master teaches a student, the student takes that style and develops his own and becomes his own type of martial arts master. That's how we're meant to be as parents. We raise our child up to a point of the age of accountability. Most people say that's 18 because that's the age where people deem young people as adults. And from that point on, with minimum guidance, doesn't mean you don't guide them. You still give them some guidance, but you don't treat them like they're 8-year-old. You don't treat them like they're 14. You treat them like, I've given you everything you need now. Go and, dominate the earth and do whatever you want to do. And I'm here as your parent, as your father, as your mother. If you need advice, I'm your dad, I'm your mom. That's what we should be doing. But unfortunately, parents parent beyond beyond the time. The child is 30-year-old and you're still treating him as if it's 14. So that's what I think the issue is here. And when your children make decisions, if it's wrong, your job is to say it's wrong, but you don't do it in a way where you penalize them. They're not kids anymore. They're not children. They're now adults. So what you do is you say, look, you've made this decision yourself. I don't agree with it, but you're an adult, right? Because the consequences of those decisions you would deal with yourself. And when you start dealing with those consequences, I'm still your parent. I'm still your mom or your dad. If you need help, come to me. If I'm your father, I'm still going to give you the bollocking. I'm still going to be like, I told you, you didn't listen, but you're still my son. I'm still going to be like, okay, come back. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's see, where did we go wrong? Off you go again. That's what we should be doing. But unfortunately, again, like I said, cultural differences, children being, sometimes children can be difficult children to their parents. This leads to all sorts of conflicts, which leads to parents disowning their child. In this day and age, I don't think this happens a lot as much as it used to now, because I think some parents have grown wiser now and they've realized, if I disown my child, I'm basically disowning everything about them, which means I can't have a relationship with them or their husband, wife, and children, which means my lineage gets lost, if that makes sense. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think this lady was right to cut off her family for the sanity of her family? Do you think the family are being racist because of the comment made about one of the children versus the other children? Do you think parents disowning children for marrying outside their race is a racism thing or a cultural thing? Whatever the case may be, guys, do let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I do think this particular topic is very, very interesting. interesting. And I do agree that parents can be a little bit extra when it comes to these things in cultural stuff, because when you don't follow culture, it kind of brings shame based on the cultural presence of our parents. I'm talking about, like, even in Britain, it's like that. Guys, don't think this is just an African thing or an Indian thing, or this happens in the Western world. It happens everywhere. I can't call it racist because I know in my country, we have the same skin and we still do this. So I really don't, that's why I can't compute it as racism, if that makes sense. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So leave a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you guys watching my video. I'll see you on the next one. For some reason, women think they're winning with hookup culture, but they're not.
All right, ladies, why men are shying away from commitment. Let's get into it. And please don't be offended. Number one, social media. Social media makes you think you have a surplus available options. And I say makes you think you
That's true.
The appearance of may not be the reality.
No.
Hookup culture. Men don't have to commit to you to get the benefits of that connection. So because of that,
that's hookup culture in a nutshell.
And unfortunately, because
I get in a relationship with you and I can just get it
on the market today, due to perspectives, higher body counts, maybe even personality traits.
Yep.
Men think that women today are of lower quality.
And
therefore do not want to commit.
Yeah.
Or are more apprehensive to commit, should I say.
Yeah. I think my favorite part of that was that hookup culture basically essentially gives men who are in that world, right? Because not all men are, you know, got swag and game and money and stuff like that to get girls whenever they want. So it's normally a very small percentage of men who are in that sector where hookup culture girls basically give it all up to them. The average man is not hooking up to a hookup culture thing. The average man is struggling to find relationship. And then the others who are the small minority, they've got the money, they've got swag, they got game, or they got the mouth, right? They get all the girls. And from my perspective, it's those men that win. Because while for some reason women think they're winning with hookup culture, but they're not. Because at the end of the day, from what I know, even as I was growing up, because I had uncles, I had men around me who I had the ones who showed the good way to live, and then you always also see the bad, the ones who are the womanizers. And men don't come out of multiple relationship going, oh damn, I feel bad having come out of multiple relationship. They don't. Unfortunately, they don't. However, women do. Right? A woman who has had multiple relationships continues to feel used, right? That's essentially the emotion. They continue to feel used. They continue to feel abused. They continue to feel like, you know, worthless, right? So the more they sleep around and jump in and out of relationship, the more they feel like, ugh, right? So hookup culture does not feel good to women, basically. The people who are winning are the men who take part in hookup culture. Interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
To get most bears to leave you alone, all you have to do is scream loud enough.
What? Are you serious? What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I heard that there's been a massive controversy around a question on TikTok or on YouTube about whether a woman would prefer to be stuck in the woods with a bear or a human being or something like that. So I'm going to check out some of these videos. The person who recommended it to me already told me to get ready to be triggered. Get ready to be triggered. I don't get triggered easily, but, you know, I'm interested to see what's going on. So before I get into this video, guys, please leave a like, comment, and share my video. Let's go.
Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
Bear. Men are scary. With a bear. What I've heard about bears, they don't always attack you, right? Unless you, like, with them. So maybe a bear.
Seriously?
Depends what man, but probably a bear.
Oh, 100% a bear, which is like terrible.
Wow.
To say,
Definitely a bear. Some men are very scary out there.
a bear.
I would say.
Is this
I would
for
say
real?
a man.
Okay, we got
Would
one.
you rather be stuck in a forest?
Wait, what's the point of the question? Why specifically a bear? That's another. Anyway, I guess it could have been anything. It could be a lion or whatever. I mean, I'm not surprised that women of this time would say a bear. Some of them may be trolling, but if we treat the question logically, the answer should be a man, right? Because like I say in most of my videos, most average man, right, unless they specify the man is just a man, right? Most average men are protecting women. Like if you were stuck in the woods with a man, he's most likely going to protect you. He's most likely going to shield you, right? He's most likely going to do all the manual labor to make sure that you're okay until you're rescued. That is the logical answer to that question. So I'm wondering why women are choosing bears, right? I'm going to assume they're going to base it on toxic masculinity or something, but let's check out some more videos, see if I can get an explanation on what's happening here.
Not really sure why this is a debate, but here we are. And I've seen a whole lot of comments from people who don't understand women's stories or statistics. So to be clear, the answer is unequivocally a bear. And here
Why?
are 2 reasons why. First, the numbers. In the United States, there are 340,000 bears and about 57 million hikers, 26 million of which are female. Since 2020, there have been exactly 7 women killed by bears. And
okay, that is the stupidest argument I've ever heard. No woman is in the habitat of bears. They're not. The only reason why those kills that he's just mentioned happen is because they found themselves, which is not the norm, in the habitat of bears or around bears. We are talking about a situation where you're just stuck randomly with a man, and you get to choose whether you are going to be with a man or a bear. You trying to compare the statistics of how many kills a bear has done compared to how many kills a man has done is so redundant. Like, it's so stupid. If bears were to be released into human civilization with women, what do you think would happen? Of course the bears will tear them all apart, right? Come on. What is this?
15 non-fatal attacks on women. In the U.S., there are also 165 million men and 168 million women. Since 2020, there have been 8,000 fatal attacks on women by men and 1.6 million non-fatal attacks. Yeah, but what about adjusting for population size? Okay, fine. But first, just so we're clear, this is an impossible hypothetical.
This is stupid.
Because in the U.S., the Departments of Natural Resources in every state regulate the population of bears. They do not regulate the population of men. But sure, for the sake of this, let's do the impossible. In order to adjust for population, the number of bears in the United States would have to increase.
Okay, he's annoying me. He's stupid. He's stupid. No, and I'm gonna hope that he's just trolling. Let's try another video, guys.
Are y'all realizing that myself and other women are saying bear because we would quite literally rather die?
Okay.
And then we have some people saying, well, not all bears, just because one bear did it doesn't mean that all bears would do it. You shouldn't be scared of all bears. Let's get a lineup of bears and you show me which one I should be fucking scared of. In this Target right now, you point out to me which men I should and should not be fucking scared of. Well, I don't know. Exactly. At least a bear wouldn't fucking show videos and photos and dap up their buddies after. At least a bear couldn't say the words, well, she liked it.
Are you being serious right now?
A bear would probably leave you alone even after you were dead. To get most bears to leave you alone, all you have to do is scream loud enough.
What? Are you serious? They cannot be serious. This is not serious. All you have to do is scream loud enough? I'm done. Guys, I am done.
Women are asking their guy best friends, their boyfriends, their husbands, their fathers, and they're all saying the same thing. Why do you think that is? Bears don't grasp the concept of wrong and right, but you know who does.
Wait, so these women are now experts on bears now?
At least a bear didn't pretend to be your friend for months beforehand just to get what it
Oh,
wanted.
stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Guys, I'm done. This topic is stupid. I'm done. I'm actually done. Alright guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm done with this topic. It's actually stupid. It's very dumb. And I'm guessing it's just trending because it's so dumb. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll see you on my next video.
men tend to forget that women typically are emotionally wired or more emotionally wired.
Yeah.
And so what happens is when she comes to you and expresses a concern, if that concern does not line up in your head logically, men tend to dismiss it.
That's true.
And they don't consider how she's feeling. And I want men to
Because it's not logical. They're never logical.
We have to accept men and women are different. We are just built differently, and in understanding our differences, we can create more harmony with each other. When that woman says to you, this is how I feel, it's not about your logic at that point, bro. It's about how she feels.
That's correct. Yeah, it is about how she feels. I mentioned in my video not to one-up your partner when she's telling you how she's feeling, and then you start going, well, yeah, that's not a good look, because God created us to be understanding of our ladies, and we have the tools to do that. We have the patience to do that. As you can see, the very people that you are watching who are telling you that you can do it, you can be successful and hold a marriage, you can disappear for months and then from your husband and hold a marriage, they are getting divorced. My wife was watching her usual shows and she let me know that Nia Long has now been cheated on by her husband.
Everybody has to define their relationship for themselves. Like everyone has a different understanding, a different agreement, and you have to do what works for your particular family, especially when you're both working and you have busy schedules. Women are super women, but we also have to recharge our batteries. And I've learned, especially in this COVID time, to really examine how I'm balancing my work-home life in a different way.
That was Nia Long talking about her relationship with Ime Udoka to ET back in 2020. Now she's speaking out amid scandal, Udoka's alleged infidelity coming to light and possibly costing him his job.
There are things to learn here, guys. I heard that even Jay-Z has stepped out of his marriage at some point, and Beyonce is meant to be one of the most sought after women. And now Tia Mowry has now also filed for divorce against her husband.
It's been a little over a month since Tia shocked her fans by announcing she'd filed for divorce from her husband, Corey Hardrict, after 14 years of marriage. And the reason why this news came as a shock was because, from the outside, Tia and Corey seemed like the ultimate relationship goals. And Tia always talked about how she couldn't imagine her life without Corey.
I see Corey as my partner in crime. You know, it's like, I'm not doing this alone.
So
he's like a part of my body. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's like if it's, I can't even visualize myself, you know, without Corey.
These are all high-flying, beautiful, sought-after women, and yet these men who they married are still cheating on them. What is the lesson here? Of course, we know that there are men who are just scumbags and are just going to cheat on anyone. They're not the kind of people you marry. And I don't think these people, well, I had my doubts about Jay-Z. I had my doubts about Jay-Z. And then obviously you got Dr. Dre, who's also, his wife is called for divorce as well. Again, I had my doubts about those people as well, because I used to listen to gangster rap when I was younger, and I did not think these people were marriage material in the first place. So when I saw that they got married, I was shocked because of some of the lyrics of their music. But people like Tia's husband, Nia Long's husband, I don't know what their background is. What is wrong here? Because at the core, we can say the old ways preserved marriage better because everyone had their gender roles. There's an argument to be made for that. And I know a lot of people will make this argument in the comment section. But then what do we say about the new way where women are high-flying and the men are high-flying and both maybe don't see each other for a while? This is the reality, because Tia is on multiple shows and I don't know whether her husband is a baller or some form of businessman. He goes away for a while. What is to be said for that dynamic? He doesn't come home to her. She probably stays in a hotel or whatever, goes away for months on end, and he does the same. How do we expect these marriages to last? Given the scenario I just painted, I don't know whether that's exactly how their lifestyle is, but I would imagine that would have been their lifestyle at some point. There is a conversation here, guys. Because in my mind, I'm thinking thinking Nia Long is, when I was younger, I thought she was one of the most beautiful women in the world. I think to myself, how can a man cheat on her? But it happens. And there's a reason for it. And we need to discuss that reason. Guys, I'm going to research this issue a little bit more, and I'll come back again to give you my thoughts on it. I just want to kind of get some more details about what went wrong, what happened, and then we can have a discussion about it. But I really do think we need to stop lying to young ladies about the current day of building a family and what to do to sustain one. Because as you can see, the very people that you are watching who are telling you that you can do it, you can be successful and hold a marriage, you can disappear for months and then from your husband and hold a marriage, they are getting divorced and they're the ones initiating it. And at some point, the men end up stepping out. Why? What's going on? Is it because the men are scumbags, or is it because there's something else going on that they're not telling you about, even though they're gonna smile on the camera? I was watching a program with my wife, one of the Marys. Her husband also cheated on her. Prior to that, I could tell there was a level of fakeness in some of their uploads. I could just see it, that this was not real, and I was not surprised when I heard that he had stepped out, because you can see it, you can tell. People act for the camera and they tell you, oh, it's so amazing, it's so lovely, but you have no idea what's going on in the house. And that's what Instagram is for. They lie to you. Guys, let me know what you think of this topic. If you know any more about some of these topics, Nia Long, the Mary Marys, Dr. Dre and his wife, Beyonce and Jay-Z, Tia and her husband, and so many more who are beginning to get divorced, share it in the comments, leave a like on the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
He told me that he had been unfaithful, and he told me that it had been years back, and he thought that if he just stopped and just kept moving forward, it would be fine. And he said he didn't have peace and he couldn't rest. And so we talked about it, and strangely enough, I kind of knew it, but I suspected it, but I was like, well, I don't see any evidence. I don't feel that. And it got dark, of course, first.
What do you mean by it got dark?
You get angry, you go, okay, I'm good, I'm out. I got my own money, I can do this by myself. You live your life, I'm good, look at me, this will be fine, But then I began to think about my commitment and what I said to God and how I said for better or for worse. And I really began to think about him. And I asked myself, is he a mistake or did he make a mistake? And I believe he was a good man that made a mistake. And there's a difference. And so
you went to therapy?
We went to therapy. We sat with my bishop.
I'm not surprised that we've gotten to this point where men don't respect it because you didn't respect it. So now, is it cooking? Men have Uber Eats now. Is it cleaning? They can hire a maid. They can do it themselves now, even. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You already know what to do. Leave a like, comment, and sub. And remember to share the video. Let's check out today's video.
So let me get this straight. Because you didn't want to do chores, you took your children's father away from them.
When will men understand that it is not just chores? It is not just the cooking, the cleaning, the laundry. You are trying so hard to miss the point entirely. She is saying, I want an equal partner. I want someone who will share the domestic labor equally with me. I don't want to have to delegate tasks to him. I don't want to have to make him a to-do list. I don't want to have to tell him what to do. I don't want to tell him to have to be an active participant in a home that we share together and to care for the children that we both have. It's more than the physical labor, it is the mental labor. I'm going to touch on the assumptions you made about her keeping her kids from their dad. Let's stay focused here. Not because she didn't want to do chores, because we get tired of being your mother. We get tired of everything falling on our shoulders to keep track of and being the whole domestic engineer of our family and our households. It's so much more than chores.
Okay, so what she said there, in my eyes, and it's probably because I'm a guy, what she said there is being a woman, traditionally, is not something that she wants to do. And I think this is the problem. This is what caused the problem in the first place. I'm a firm believer that when people do something for a long period of time, they come to a point where they become complacent and they take those things for granted and they want to change. The problem with this is that this ended up being a massive change, which changed the course of history, changed the course of life, really. And now we are at a point now where certain women wish they have what she's talking about. She's basically saying she doesn't want to be domesticated. She doesn't want to be a housewife, essentially. Everyone is different, and maybe that life is not meant for everyone, but majority of women of these days now, after now tasting the other side, now wish that they had the opportunities of old, which is that what she's talking about, which she's basically turned everything about those olden days negative. So another woman can speak on the same subject and say she loves telling her husband what to do. She's loved the fact that he's an airhead. She loves the fact that he doesn't come into her kitchen and she gets to do everything in the kitchen. She takes pride in the fact that he doesn't cook for himself and he only eats her food. Takes pride in the fact that she looks after the kids. Takes pride in the fact that she is the one who does X, Y, and Z in the home. Another woman has that perspective about what she's speaking about. But again, the same situation, and her perspective is, I don't want to tell him what to do. I want him to do chores. I want him to do this, and I want him to do this, and I want him to do that. So it's all based on perspective. But it's interesting, and I want everyone to take note, that the very thing that was the pride of women at some point became a chore, became something negative. It became something that you guys wanted to shed. And now, fast forward years, those things are now, it's not questioned. It's not even just questioned, it's the fact that you're no longer needed for it. It's harsh. It really is. But in the day and age that we're in, if you want to get into a relationship, especially in a modern era, your entry is no longer cooking, cleaning, and being a mother, which is really terrible to me. Because in my day, that's all you needed to be qualified to have a man, right? You just needed to be willing to cater to your man and cook for him. And even the parents used to say that, you know, the parents used to make sure that their daughters were able to cook. But then there was a shift even when I was growing up, where women, independent women, people who grew up single, started teaching their sons how to cook, started making sure that the son knows how to look after himself. That's by the by. The point is that the entry level for relationship has now changed. So while women complained about this, that specific thing has now been removed from you. So a woman can no longer bring just her looks, right? These were things that were just entry level. They just brought their looks. They brought the fact that they can cook. They brought the fact that they were mothers. They were willing to be mothers, right? They were willing to be a stay-at-home wife. Now, what do you have? Because women, you guys keep saying this thing online that, well, I have a degree, I have a job, I have whatever. And men keep telling you every single time a woman have brought this point, men have always said, we do not care. It's the truth. Men have always said, we don't care about your degree. We don't care about the fact that you've got a job. We don't care about blah, blah, blah. Be that as it may, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying, you know, especially in this economy, it's necessary that we pair up both financially as well as love-wise. But that financial part is now becoming more and more crucial because of the fact that women are now doing better than men, right? So I mean, women are earning more, so your average man is earning less than the average woman. So it's necessary that that pairing happens, especially in this economy. But my point is that men have never cared the fact that you have money or you have a degree or whatever. That's never been your entry level. A man only wants you based on how you make him feel, based on the fact that you can do X, Y, and Z, things that he can't do for himself. And rightly so. We shouldn't be able to do these things for ourselves. I know women always try to say that we should be independent. It's what was it? It's being able to cook and clean is just being a functional human being. Tell that to the people of old, because the boys could not cook to save their lives. And it was a thing of joy to be able to pair up with somebody who could do that, to be able to pair up with somebody who could look after children, to be able to pair up with somebody who could cook. And it was a thing of joy for the woman to be able to pair up with somebody who was strong, who was financially stable, who was able to go out and hunt, or whatever it is that was the masculinity of that time. So it's really sad. I know I've gone on a rant so far in this video, guys, but listening to her just made me think that now those things that she despises, it is despising, guys. Like, from a Christian perspective, it's like you do something for so long and then you start to despise it. And I think that's what's happened to women here. You now despise your very nature, right? You despise the fact that, I remember there was a time when people were saying, oh, we're not just here to be mothers. People started despising the very thing that only you can do, right? A man can never do this. Nobody can ever do this except women. And you guys started despising that very superpower that you had. And I'm not surprised that we've gotten to this point where men don't respect it because you didn't respect it. That's my opinion. I think women didn't respect it, so men stopped respecting it. So now, is it cooking? Men have Uber Eats now. No, for real. Men have Uber Eats. Is it cleaning? They can hire a maid. They can do it themselves now, even. Forget about maid. They can do it themselves now. Is it sex? There's hookup culture now, right? Hookup culture means they can go on Tinder, they can go on Hinge, get the next hookup, get sex, go home. It's so, oh my goodness, I really feel so sorry for our young people. Young Christian, I will just say take heart. The very thing that has been despised in this video, you need to know, especially as a lady, that those things are a thing of pride. They're a thing of joy. They're the very thing that only you can do. Only you can cater to a man and a family. Only you can build a family. Only you can make a house into a home. Only you can carry a child, and only you can rear a child, right? Most times the women raise the children and the man is just present. It's just his presence, almost like the Holy Spirit being around the house, or even if he's not in the house, the consciousness that he's coming home. Just that very minimum, and I'm not saying you should be a minimum type of father if you're a man, but I'm saying just your presence alone is like enough. Don't despise that which God made you to be. God made you to be a woman. Don't despise who you are. God made you to be a man. Don't despise who you are. And definitely don't despise whatever it is that he has put in your hands to do. This, I'm not just made to be a mother. Women are regretting it now. There's videos all over the place where women are saying, no, I just want to be a mother. I just want to be a wife. I don't want to work. I don't want to do whatever. But we've gone from at least 10, 15 years now of women saying they don't want to be mothers. They don't want to be wives. They don't want, and we still have women now who are saying they don't want to be mothers. Young Christians, don't accept the world view. Remember the way God made you. Yes, you are ultimately the helper of your husband, so you need to find a way to help in this day and age, because the help that men need now is different from the help that men needed back then. So find your place in your man's life, or the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, and your place must be complementary. You can't do the same thing. You can't be a man in the relationship. Find your place. There's a way to apply that, even in this day and age where people are working and stuff like that. And even if you are working, there's still a way to apply your femininity to your relationship. And the men, even though things are against you, even though women are making more money, even though blah, 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 you still need to take your place as men. You still need to protect, you still need to provide, you still need to be there for your family. So yeah, it's hard, but you still need to go for it. You still need to get that job. You still need to get that money. You still need to make sure that you provide and protect. Guys, let me know what you think of this video. Do you agree with me and my deduction? Or do you think actually she's right? Yes, men should share responsibility. Women shouldn't have to do everything. Or do you agree with me where I say women have come to despise their very nature? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Before I go, guys, remember I have a reaction channel, Angelintreacts. I'll put it on the screen right now. Please go over there, give me a like, share, and subscribe. And if you enjoyed my reaction and my commentary on this specific video, please give me a like, give me a subscribe, and share this video. So I'll see you guys on the next one.